You said x is greater than 1. Now, I partially agree with you, Jude. Is there something else?
Or equal.
It could be equal to, right? So we're going to put the equal to. Let's do one more, just a simple one, and then we'll do 3 a little bit more involved. Not that bad. But part of it is you haven't done it since Algebra 1. This one I'm going to do -2, -1, 0. And I'm going to put an open dot over -2, and I'm going to shade to the left. Okay, again, we'll just use X, and that works great because when we do graphs, X's are your domain and Y's are your range. You know, when you do them, so that makes it a lot easier. Now, what are the X's that are shaded here? What are the values?
X is less than -2.
Okay, not equal to, because -2 is not included in it. Anything that's not shaded does not make this true. So -2 is not less than -2, so I didn't shade it. So we're pretty good. All 4 of you good with that? Everybody good? Okay, let's do a third one. Let's see, I'm going to skip down an extra line there. Actually, I'm going to extend my line a little bit. I'm going to do it over a little bit more. And I'm going to do 5 points. I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And if you have to put your tick marks close together, it's fine. You should be pretty good with that. And I'm going to shade -2. And I'm going to shade 0. And I'm going to shade everything between it. Now, if you did these in Algebra 1, you may remember, you may not have done these in Algebra 1. So we'll kind of think about what we've shaded here. What do you think? Okay, well, let's talk about the true points. Is -2 true? Does it have a solid dot above it? Is -0.7 true? Where's -0.7? About right here? Is it true? Yes. Is 0 true? Is 1 true? 2's not true. Anything to the left of -2 is not true. So what do we know about these numbers? Can you tell me something that just, even with just words, not even greater than, less than?
Are they equal since it's shaded?
So it's all the numbers. Okay, so it can be equal to -2 or equal to 0, but then what about those numbers? They are what? In between those two numbers. Now that would be saying it grammatically. Let's talk about it mathematically. And then I'll address it where we kind of do it like this. Well, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, so because it's a between, you're shading in between, we're going to make us a X, and we're going to put it between, okay? You're going to write it just like a number line. So we're going to put the smallest number over here, which was -2. We're going to put, and leave a little bit of space there because we got to put some inequalities in here. And we're going to put a 0 over here. Now let's do the easy one. Let's do the right side. If I just saw this 0 shaded like this one up here, and it just kept on going that way, what would we say about the X? It is it less than or greater than 0? Less than 0, right? Aren't these numbers less than 0? Can it be equal to 0? Yes. Now, let's go over here and do this like we did this one up here, and then we'll tweak it to what we need to do down here. If I saw this one and it had a solid dot here going that way forever, if it went forever, I would say X is greater than or equal to -2, would I not? So X is greater than or equal to -2. If you, and that's what I say when I teach it in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, I say greater thans are like, I'm older than you, you're younger than me. Those aren't exactly the same words, but do they mean the same thing? Do they? Yeah. So if X is bigger than or equal to -2, then -2 is less than or equal to X. And I would read that. -2 is less than or equal to X is less than or equal to 0. Now, what if I wanted to write it as a separate statement? Well, we wrote one of them here, and I put it this morning, I just wrote X is, I'm gonna circle this one. I prefer this one, and I would say 95% of the time on the ACT or anything like that, that's what you're gonna see. They're gonna write it like this. Occasionally, they might have taken the two pieces. X is greater than or equal to -2, which would have been this side, going on forever. And then this one, and I'm gonna put the word and we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm gonna underline it. And then if I do this one, it's X is less than or equal to 0. Now, in mathematics, and I think it's true in grammar too, if you say, I'm going to Walmart and I'm going to Target, do you have to do both of those for it to be a true statement? I'm going to Kroger's and I'm going to Target. If I only go to Kroger's, did I do what I was going to say? I didn't, did I? Okay, so just follow me. Just answer my question, follow me. And means you have to meet both conditions. Okay, let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if I say, I'm going to Target and I'm going to Kroger's. Now, to me, that means I have to do both of them. Yes? But what if I only go to one of them? Then it's not a true statement because, Ms. Brand, you didn't go to both of them. So to make an and statement true, I have to do both. So if I'm going to write it like this, and occasionally you will see it as opposed to this, you have to make sure both of these are true. So if I pick a number, let's pick -1. Okay, I think we're cool with this one. We know -1 is between -2 and 0. We were cool with that one. But let's try it down here. Is -1 greater than or equal to -2? Okay, now remember, negative numbers, you got 0, they're going that way. The biggest one's always on the left. So -1's bigger than -2, bigger than -3, going on to your right. So I think I said left, but anyway, going to the right, your negatives are getting smaller. So is -1 bigger than -2? That's true. Is -1 less than or equal to 0? Yes. For it to be shaded and be part of the answer, and I just showed you two ways to write it. I prefer this one, but I always have to dabble in this one because sometimes you'll see it written with an and. So in this case, and you may not have done this in Algebra 1, or if you did, it's been 2 years and you don't remember what it said. But if I pick a number, it has to meet both of them. Do an easy one. Pick the number 5. Is 5 bigger than or equal to -2? Yes. Is 5 less than or equal to 0? No. Then 5 is not shaded. It has to be yes on this and yes on that. Does that get it when you say meet both conditions? Okay. Let's do one more like that one. So let's do, I'm going to put 4 numbers on my number line. One, 2, 3, 4. And I'm actually not going to do the second one. I mean, I think you can see what it would be. It would be like pulling them apart and writing it 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, all of this is you're just going, I got to trust you, Ms. Brown, because I don't know where you're going with this. So I'm going to put a open dot over 6. I'm going to put a solid dot over 9. And I'm going to shade between. Now usually, and I will say when we get to inequalities, solving inequalities, sometimes it might be an or and it looks like this, but in this case, it's going to be an or, it's going to be an and, it's between, it's going to be this. I already know X is between two numbers. What's the number on the left? 6. And what's the number on the right? 9. They will always be less thans because you're going from the smaller number to the bigger. X is bigger than 6. 9 is bigger than X. Are either one of them equal? Either one of them solid. The 9 on the right side. So any number that is between 6 and 9, it makes this true because 7 is bigger than X and it is smaller than 9. And the 9 works, but 6 doesn't work because 6 is not less than 6. 6 makes this one true, but it doesn't make this one true. Okay, let's do one more, and then hopefully it will, when we get to the Post-its today or Tuesday, it'll make a little bit more sense. Okay, let's draw a number line. And I'm going to put, now you may have to make your tick marks a little bit closer. I'm gonna do -2 all the way to +2. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I did more than I needed, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna put a solid dot over -1 and shade it to the left. We're going to put a solid dot over 2 and we're going to shade to the right. Okay, let me slide that way. That gets it on y'all and that gets it under the camera, so we're doing good. Okay. Now, what kind of numbers make this statement true? Well, all these numbers over here, is this a between? Is it two numbers and the numbers between them? No. Let me write it and then we'll talk about why it has to be that way. If you just had this one, which we actually had very similar up here, this is what? X is less than or equal to -1. Did I do it like I said? Yeah, I thought, then the 2's on this side. Now, I'm going to put that word or, and I'm going to underline it, and then I've got X is greater than or equal to 2. No way can I write that as a between because the numbers between them are not shaded. So they're not the points that I'm trying to name. Why did I have to put or there? Well, let's see. Or means that you have to meet only one condition. Now, you can in real life put a little bit of a twist on it. Now, here's an example. Okay, y'all, when I leave school today, I'm either going to Kroger's or I'm going to Walmart. Kroger's or Walmart. Okay, can I go to Kroger's and that be a true statement? Just go to one of them. Can I go to Walmart and it be a true statement? Yes. Now, where it's a little bit tricky is it could be both. I could do both, and y'all would think that would be false, but actually I could do both. But in this case, we're just talking about the one or the other. So we're only going to meet only one condition. Sometimes it is two, but not in this situation. So let's pick a number like 8. Is 8 shaded? Well, is 8 less than or equal to -1? No. Is 8 greater than 2? Yes. So all of these numbers make that one true. All of these numbers make this one true. And where it is, these are the numbers that make both of them true, but they're not shaded. See, so that's the reason it's not an and. There's no number. You cannot pick 100 and it make both of them true. There is not a single number in our number system that will make both of those true.